Oh, here it is.
So I think it's repetition for both of you. You've been this week here. You were here Tuesday, I think, no?
No, I came to you, Tuesday because of, we went to Javi's class, remember?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. It's all good. Hi, hello, you. Welcome. Do you want a book here? Okay.
Well, she told us to buy this book.
She told you? I love this book. I love it.
Okay, it's only $36.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to start today. Now, this is an open class, English, I mean. We can stop, we can ask. The only thing I ask is no technology. That's the only thing I ask. No phones, no computer, no. Just old-fashioned being together. That's all I ask. Okay. Okay, so have you studied a little bit of Tanya? You don't know what Tanya is about? Okay. So Tanya is about the soul, what happens at the level of the soul. Everything is the Torah, 53 chapters of the Torah. There's 53 chapters in Tanya. But the Tanya, the Torah tells you, let's say, on Pesach, eat matzah, right? And the Tanya will tell you what happens inside. You know, sometimes I want to do it, sometimes I don't want to do it, sometimes, you know, maybe later, it's too hard, you know, or what's happening inside. So the whole premise of the Tanya is that every Jew, we don't have one soul, but we have two souls. And there's a constant battle. There's a battle inside every moment of our lives. You know, if it's chocolate or vanilla, do I eat the chocolate ice cream or do I not? Do I eat the cake? Do I not? Do I get up from bed when the alarm rings, or, you know, do I push the snooze button like 3 times? It's all an inner battle. In fact, the main battle that we have in life is with ourselves, right? That Pirkei Avot says, the real strong man is not the one that conquers cities, it's the one that conquers himself. Why does it say that? Because inside of ourselves, we don't have one soul, we have two. It's very sad because even, you know, today we're in a world where some Jews don't even realize that they have a soul. They don't even realize they have one soul. Rabbi Lipskar, alav shalom, would ask people not how you are, how are you? He would ask, how's your soul, right? How is your soul? So the Tanya will speak about what's going on. So there's an inner battle. What is the battle? The battle is that we have two souls. One is a real piece of divinity. One is called the divine soul. It's a real part of Hashem, and it's already programmed. This is our hard disk. It only wants to do Torah, mitzvot, transcend, be the best Jewish woman that it can, be the best Jewish daughter that it can, be the best Jewish friend. It wants to, it's permanently happy. It's because it's living in the present. And whatever Hashem presents in the present, it's happy because it knows Hashem is there, right? Our second soul is the animal soul or vital soul. It's what makes our heart tick. Its main focus is survival of the body. It's what makes a little baby cry because it wants to be fed, it wants to be held, it wants to be changed, right? The baby, once all of the primary necessities are met, the baby is content, right? So contentment is the divine soul. It's permanently content. When we are dissatisfied, sadness, anger, angst, all, hey, well, bienvenida, come from the animal. Okay, so it's a constant battle. All right. Now, remind me your name. Carol. Okay, Carol, this is an open class. We can stop. Don't think anybody knows more than you. And I always say, not even the teacher. I don't pretend to know more than anybody here. Okay, so we're following this book, which I love. Okay, chapter 25. I'm going to open it up. Chapter 25, 142. Okay, 142. And this chapter is talking about, 142, 142, chapter 25. It's the chapter culminating on love of Hashem. Now, I was listening to a class by Rabbi Yossi Jacobson. He's a world-class Torah eminence. And he was saying how, you know, the story of Hillel and Shammai, where a person wanted to convert, right? You know the story? A person wanted to convert. He went to Hillel, to Shammai, and Hillel and Shammai were the two great yeshivot in the times. And he said to Shammai, I will convert if you tell me the whole Torah standing in one foot. 5 books of Moses, Gemara, Talmud, Midrash, you know, all the halakha. Hillel took a stick, a measuring stick, and shooed him away. You know, get out of here. You know, standing in one foot. So he went to Hillel, and he said to Hillel, I will convert if you tell me the whole story, the whole Torah standing in one foot. And what did Hillel say? Don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you, right? Love your fellow as yourself. Like, that's it. Don't do to another person what you don't want that to be done to you. That's the whole Torah. The rest is commentary. Now go and study. And that's what he did. So here we see in the commentary of Hillel, it's ahava, it's love. To really be able to love another person like yourself, right? Love is a very powerful emotion. Why? Because remember we said we have 2 souls. So in the divine soul, one second. In the divine soul, okay, there's a natural love, okay? But it's very interesting because all the neshamot, all the souls in all the souls, okay, you're here and I'm here, okay? This. Like this. Like this. Okay. Your soul, you're here. I am here. Okay. And so you are a different person than me. If we see in the bigger plane of things, our souls are like conical. Only a little, you know, like the what was the Titanic? The Titanic, what happened? It went into an iceberg. Why? Because it only saw the tip of the little ice and it thought there was nothing underneath, right? Our souls, only a little tip inverted is in us. The bigger part, right? We cannot even see it. In the bigger part, we're all one. Here, we're all one, okay? When I'm only focusing on myself, then I'm different than you. If I can go a little bit higher and I can look at the common denominator, what makes everybody a Jew, this is the divine soul. It's all the same. Hashem is the same for everybody. We all have the same piece of Hashem. Just that a little piece comes into me and a little piece comes into me. So my animal soul takes it and says, I am different than you. What is the concept? Because in the animal soul, we sugarcoat everything that we do. You know, it's like an almond that has a sugar coating, no, a chocolate coating. So I said Lashon Hara, but you know, it wasn't such a big deal. You know, maybe it wasn't even a mitzvah. I cheated somebody in business. Oh no, you know what? That was coming to them, and that was really, it really belonged to me. We justify everything we do because we sugarcoat everything. Why? Because there's a tremendous love of ourselves. This comes from the animal soul. Why? Because we love ourselves. We want to keep ourselves alive. Are we together? But we don't have that same sugarcoating for the same person, for the another person. So when Hillel says, don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you, is, hey, if you love yourself and you don't want people to do something bad to you, don't do it to another person. Have the same love for them that you have for yourself. And it's not a small thing. It's a very difficult thing. It's not so easy. It's not so easy to love another person like you love yourself, right? It's not. Okay. So here they're talking about love to Hashem. Now, why is love to Hashem important? We're living on 2025. What's the big deal about love of Hashem? I've lived all my life without even thinking about it. Well, what happens is that as much from love, we do. I love my child. I want to buy them something. I want to cook them something. I want to smile at them. I want to talk to them. I want to take my time and be with them. I want to give them, right? So from love of Hashem, we come to fulfill all the 365 commandments, positive commandments. I'm sorry, 248 positive commandments. Light Shabbat candles, right? Blow the shofar. Oh, in fact, I want them to blow the shofar. Let's see if they remember. From love, we're going to do. It's like a car. A car has an accelerator and it has a brake. Both are important. From love, I do. Okay. From fear, I refrain. So from fear of Hashem, or from respect of Hashem, or from awe of Hashem, I'm going to not incur. This is not working. Malca, ¿le puedes decir a Mazal que le recuerde a alguien que nos toque el shofar, por favor? Okay, gracias. Then nothing's worse today. All right. From fear of Hashem, I'm not going to incur in the 365 prohibitions. 365 plus 248 are 613 mitzvot. I need both. I need love and fear. Are we together? Okay, gracias. Gracias. Okay, so let's go to 142. Let's start in our... ¿Quieres agarrar un libro, Tanya? Okay. In the yellow upper corner. To overpower the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara, what is the Yetzer Hara? The inclination to do bad. My Yetzer Hara is like the temptation, like the snake in the Garden of Eden, right? The temptation, it's not natural. If we have a divine soul, which is a real piece of Hashem, it is not natural for a Jew to do something against Hashem's will, right? It's not natural because it's not in the divine soul. So where is the Yetzer Hara? Yetzer Hara is the lowest part of the animal soul. Are we together? Carol, are we getting it? Okay. Yetzer Hara is in the low, it's the inclination. It's like the snake. Hey, is there something in the garden that Hashem told you not to eat from? Hey, I shouldn't eat a cheeseburger, but maybe it tastes good, right? Hey, maybe I can take a little bit of more money from this business than I should. It's a temptation. It's a temptation, okay? So to overpower the Yetzer Hara, now we all have it. It's all there. We come already with these two souls. It's much easier than being killed. Why is it saying that? Because it has already told us from the divine soul to do mitzvot are connections. Every time we fulfill a mitzvah, we are connected with Hashem. Why? Because even though we have a cellular phone, right? Is there a number I can call Hashem? You know, there's something in these days that's been happening to me. Maybe it's happening to you. Something traumatic happened to me last week. And I really need, were times in my life when I would go and ask for a one-on-one with Rabbi Lipskar. I would, you know, it was like few in between. Thank you so much, Rabbi. They're gonna blow the shofar in the month of Elul. We can stand up. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so in those times, thank you. So there were times that I really needed to speak to Rabbi Lipskar. And in those times, Rabbi Lipskar had two personas. One was the public persona. When you see him with 300 and 400 people, he was very diplomatic, That was one persona. There was another persona of Rabbi Lipskar. When you would ask him, Rabbi Lipskar, I need a one-to-one talk. And you would find this understanding heart, empathy. He was really a sage in Torah, but almost childish innocence. And just, it was so comforting that I miss it. I'm like going around like the little duckling, where's my mother? I need that connection. It's I don't know if it's happened to you, it's happening to me. Our divine soul needs that connection with Hashem. Imagine it comes from Hashem. It comes from this amazing, holy union with God. Then it's put into this world that it's called the double and redouble darkness world, where there's, people are like dog eat dogs here, and there's physicality, and there's attraction to physicality and to all this, pursuit of whatever. And it craves, this divine soul craves the union with Hashem. It's craving it. Now, there's no, I want to call Hashem. Like, I want to call Rabbi Lipskar. I can't call Rabbi Lipskar. I can't call Hashem. But Hashem can call me. Hashem can call me. Those are the 613 commandments. That's what it is. Commandments are from Safta. It's from connection. When we do a mitzvah, we are in a one-on-one connection with Hashem. That's the exhilaration. How do we feel Friday night when we light our Shabbat candles? How do we feel? I'm not saying about the minute before or the minute after. It's chaos before and it's chaos after. No, where's my tie? I forgot to put the challah in the oven. All these things are happening. How do we feel the moment that we light the Shabbat candles? It's like transcendence. We don't need to be anywhere else. We're exactly where we have to be. There's nothing else I need to do, right? Because it's that connection. It's the soul. It's like in a hug. It's in really intimacy. A mitzvah is intimacy with Hashem. It's the closest, other than Torah study, that we can get with Hashem in this world. So what happens is that the divine soul, we crave so much. We crave these mitzvot that if we were to, God forbid, bow down to the idol, we would say, take my life. I don't want to live, right? You can't be a Jew anymore. Take my life. right? We would rather die. Are we together? Questions? Yeah? No? Questions? No? Okay? Yeah? All right. So, if we can understand that we're willing to give up our lives for Hashem rather than transgress, why in the everyday environment do we transgress? It doesn't make sense. We're willing to give up our lives for Hashem. Why in the little things in life, right? We don't keep all the commandments. Why? Isn't it the same? Are there bigger commandments? Are there smaller commandments? Are there little ones? Is it because in all the transgressions, we are being apart from Hashem? Does it make sense? Questions? Okay. So, to overpower the Yetzer Hara, the inclination to do bad, to transgress, is much easier than being killed, right? I have an inclination. Why did Hashem put the Yetzer Hara? Why did Hashem put the snake in the garden? Why?
Yes.
Huh? To test us. Why? Why does he need to test us? Why couldn't he have made a world where it's only Gan Eden, where it's only Adam and it's only Chava, the most two beautiful people in the world? All the fruits were gigantic. Everything was beautiful. Why did he put a snake in a garden? Why?
Free will.
Right. Because we're not robots. We're not angels. He's saying you are people. You have free will. And when we overpower our Yetzer Hara, when we overpower our inclination to do bad, we earn our keep. We get brownie points. We fulfill our mission of being in this world. You know, they're telling me that now there's pickleball. I've never played pickleball. Do you play pickleball? No? Okay. Paddleball. Okay, I play paddleball. I play tennis. All right. Why do we play tennis? Why do you play paddleball? Do you ever get to keep the ball? Is the object to keep the ball? Why? What is the object? What is the object?
Okay.
To throw it to the other side. To throw it it's coming towards you and you throw it to the other side. And in the process, what happens? In the process, you're getting the exercise. In the process, you're having fun. In the process, you're exercising your your mind, your body, right? The object is to throw it. That's the same thing with the Yetzer Hara. Everything in this physical world is a parallel to the spiritual world, right? So to overpower our Yetzer Hara, that's what we came to do. And in the process, we get brownie points. We earn our keep, okay? All right. It's much easier than being killed, God forbid, and one would willingly and lovingly accept to be killed, as we said. If Hashem says, if a person says in the Inquisition, bow down to the idol or I'll kill you, we would say, no, kill me, right? We all know that, right? God forbid, in order not to be separated from Hashem, even temporarily. So we don't want to even be separated, even temporarily from Hashem, right? Because it hurts us, like a baby. A baby wants to be with a mother, okay? Let's go into this reading. Remember what you would do. When it comes down to it, being connected to our siblings and parents is what we care most about, and we would be devastated to be cut off from them. And yet it is so easy to insult our sister, to poke fun at our brother, to be disrespectful to our mother, and to disregard our father. You know, I think it was, I listened to a lot of Torah, so I don't know if it was Rabbi Krasniansky or Rabbi Jacobson that said, there's a woman that worked with terminal patients, and she wrote a book about the 10 things most important to terminal patients in the last few hours of their lives. Like when they knew that they were about to die, she would ask them, what are the 10 things that you most value or wish that you would spend more time in your life? What was the number one? Number one, she wrote a book about this. Number one was to be true to myself. Oftentimes we live life not being true to ourselves. Very interesting, because who are we? We're a big piece of divinity. This is who we really are. Number two, what was it? I would spend more time with family. I would spend more time with my family, right? So why don't we, if a person, before they're about to die, say, I would be true to my values and I would spend more time with my family, why in the everyday of life we don't do it? Why? Sometimes we dress like my friends. I act like my friends. I have the values of my friends. And I spend more time in other things than in my family. Why? Why? It doesn't make sense, right? Huh? Wait. One second. Okay. All right. So if God forbid a close family member was dangerously ill, you would give everything up to save their life, right? Yet one might act meanly and insensitively to that very same person. Isn't that true? Sadly, we can live our whole lives treating our most precious relationships carelessly, acting in violation of the values that really matter the most. Are we together? Together? Yeah. How can we align our everyday life and choices with the values that we care about the most? When we remind ourselves of our deep and essential love of our family, right? If I would be reminded, right, the whole day, hey, what is my number one value? I will tell you, I was in one of my children's homes last week, and this child has become very, very neat, organized, limpio, clean, but like to an extreme. Like, I think it's very commendable, it's nice to be clean and orderly, right? But to the point that you can't live, like, like you can't, like, I was there and it was like almost like, it's like I'm gonna dirty this, I'm gonna take up space. And at the end, I had to speak to my child because I'm the mother. And I said, it's very commendable. I remember this child when he was growing up, he wasn't so clean and neat, right? And I say, it's very commendable to be clean and neat, but you have to remember your priorities in life. If you want to live alone by yourself and be clean and neat, great. But if you want to have family and people that are going to live with you, you have to make family and people number one, and then clean and neat. I think he's hearing me. So I'll just call him. So, and I said, you have to make sure your priorities are straight. Number one is number one, people, family. And number two is, yes, I want to live clean and neat. It's admirable, right? But it can't be number one, because then number two is not going to happen. People are not going to be able to live with you, right? So here it's saying, we love our siblings, we love our people, and sometimes we can't live with them every day. We can't get along with them.
They cannot live with you all the day.
Right. So why? Why? What? Something is not is off. Something is not right. Right.
One, but doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen, right? Okay. So the same thing is towards Hashem. If we really, our soul wants to be close to Hashem every second, why don't we? Why in the everyday we don't remind ourselves this? How can we, how can, second paragraph, 142, how can we align our everyday life and choices with the values we care about the most? When we remind ourselves of our deep and essential love of our family, that we would do anything to save them if they were in danger, we can reawaken our natural love and use that to drive our daily actions to be more caring and loving, right? Sometimes we get caught up in brush your teeth, make your bed, did you do your homework, right? We get caught up in like this nitty gritty thing, but we forget, wait, I love this child, right? I forgot to hug him. I forgot to tell him I love you. Why? Because I forgot, right? Forgetfulness comes from the animal soul. There's no forgetfulness here. That's why when Hashem spoke to us on Mount Sinai, our divine soul was totally impregnated with it. It's indelible in us. It's already inside of us. There's no forgetfulness there. Okay, the same is true in our relationship with Hashem. Every Jew has a built-in natural desire to be connected to Hashem. When in touch with his inner force, every Jew would give up everything, including his own life, to avoid being separated from Hashem, as we have seen throughout history. Okay, and yet it can feel so easy to slip into a pattern of careless behaviors that harm our relationship with the one we care about the most. We forget that we would do anything in order to remain connected to him if that bond was threatened. Every mitzvah is a moment of eternal connection to Hashem. And every avera is a transgression. The 365 prohibitive. Do not steal, do not lie, do not kill. Avera. And every avera, no matter how small, there's not like a small one and a big one, is a moment of disconnection. Surely controlling a temptation is much easier than being killed, which a Jew would faithfully do to remain connected to Hashem. Here is a powerful way to help do what's right in everyday situations. Remind yourself that if you were forced to bow down to avodah zarah, to idolatry, you would sacrifice your very life to avoid being disconnected from Hashem. Then remind yourself that your everyday choices either connect or disconnect you from Hashem. So, sometimes when we go to an extreme, we can identify where is this coming from, right? Is this something that Hashem wants? Then it's connecting me to Hashem. If it's something that Hashem doesn't want, it's not a mitzvah, it's disconnecting me from Hashem. And oftentimes we need to ask a rabbi, a mashpia, a Torah scholar, what is the objectivity? You know why? Remember what we said at the beginning of this class? The animal soul sugarcoats everything we do. So our mind is a very tricky place, because our mind is where thought takes place. But it's like this is where I speak, but who's calling me, right? My mind is a place, but if I have two souls, this soul will send one thought, and this soul will send another thought, and it's very confusing. Sometimes I don't know if it's coming from a good place or it's not a good place. Let's say even somebody needs help. I want to help them. I'm going to help them, right? I got a call yesterday. There are some soldiers, injured soldiers. They're coming to Miami. They need a Shabbat dinner. And I said, you know what? They asked me if I could host them. I said, with pleasure. Then I realized I'm not going to be in town, right? But I said, you know what? I'm going to call somebody else if they want to host them. So what happens if you want to do a mitzvah? Right? I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. Somebody else says, oh, they're going to come and they're going to help him. Do I feel good or do I feel bad? Do I feel good? Huh? Do I feel good that you're going to help them? I'm not going to help them? Well, if I feel good that because ultimately this is what they need help, right? If I feel bad, how did you help them? I said, I'm going to help them. Why did you come and help them, right? It's because it's coming from the animal. It's I wanted to be the one. It's me, right? You understand? It's not so easy. Our mind, so sometimes we have to ask objectively, am I thinking right? Am I saying this right? Is it coming from a good place? Because we have to discern, okay? All right, so, okay, so here it's saying that we need to remind ourselves how much we want to be connected to Hashem, that we don't want to be disconnected even for a second, okay? These reminders can inspire our daily actions to remain in accordance with our values. Our natural, deep-felt love of Hashem will become a part of our everyday lives. This is why Moshe Rabbeinu commanded Bnei Israel right before they entered Eretz Israel to say Shema. Why? This last parsha, why? Accepting Hashem's unity. What is Shema? Shema is Shema Israel. Listen, Israel. Hashem Elokeinu. Hashem, transcendent in this world, that transcends, that we don't understand. Elokeinu is Hashem in nature, right? Hashem Echad is one. So it's saying everything that's happening in our lives, it's really coming from Hashem, right? There's nothing outside of Hashem, right? So, where are we? Okay, accepting Hashem's unity, even if it requires Mesirat Nefesh, even if it requires me giving up my life because I won't serve another idol. Shema Israel means there's only one God. Hashem Echad is not that Hashem is the strongest of all the gods, is the only thing that there is, right? Although Hashem assured them that he will make the nations fear them, Moshe nevertheless instructed them to remind themselves twice daily, and they in truth would give their lives for Hashem, if it ever came to that. Remembering this extreme natural connection inspires and fuels our daily commitment to behave according to Hashem's wishes. This is the Shema. It's reminding us there's nothing outside of Hashem. There's the only thing that really exists is God, and that we're willing for this, because that's the only thing that exists. We're willing to give up our lives. Therefore, to remind ourselves not to even deviate one iota from what Hashem wants. Okay, so this is a double class today. So I'm going to go into Tehillim. This is a new class now. So we're going to leave these books today, and the Tehillim books I think are in the next class. Let me get them. In the next. Okay, so today will be an introduction to the Tehillim. And what I seek to do in this class is to get to the wonder, to the mystery, to the essence of what is the power of Tehillim. I feel there's a magnetism. I feel there's a magnet. I feel there's something that pulls our soul to say Tehillim. We know intrinsically there's some power here. What is that power? Like, I know that I feel every day I need to say it. And you know, if I don't say it, it's like, oh my gosh, I need to say it. And Tehillim is something that we run to, we go to in times of fear, in times of need, in times of joy, in times, you know, there's Tehillim regular prayers, in the Shabbat prayers, in the Hallel. So what is this? Okay, that's what this class is going to go into. Okay, all right. So first of all, as an introduction, okay, I want us to understand just how the Tehillim are divided. Okay, there's 150 Psalms of Tehillim. Okay, there's 150. King David compiled the 150 Psalms. He did not write all of them. There's Tehillim from Adam Harishon, the first man. There's Tehillim from the sons of Korah. There's Tehillim from different people. But what King David did is that he took them all, he compiled them all. Okay? Now, there is a merit in when we finish something. And so the person that finishes something takes the merit of it. As we see, and I gave this example in my other class, when I have siblings, I have brothers, and my father never wanted them to be goalies in the soccer. Why? Because he says the goalie always gets blamed for if they lose. And if they win, who gets the merit? The one that striker, okay? Because he put the goal. But soccer is a team sport. It's not a one-man sport. Why does he get all the credit? Because somebody had to pass him the ball, somebody had to run with the ball, and finally the striker puts a goalie, but the goalie gets all the fame, right? That's King David. He didn't write all the Tehillim by himself, okay? But he compiled it all, okay? Now we're gonna see okay, first let's understand there's 150 Psalms, and they're yes.
Sorry, just choose the order.
Huh?
Choose the order.
Yeah.
Where to go.
Yeah, that's his credit. And also, it's not very clear to me if, like, let's say Adam wrote a Tehillim, if King David changed it a little, right? But it was basically written by Adam, okay? All right, so they're divided in 30 divisions. For instance, let's go to page 30 sections. Thank you very much. Page 7. And we're gonna see here, page 7, you can see the English part, it says on the left corner, it says day 1, right? It says day 1. And if we look to page 15, you will see day 2. Can you see that? Page 7 says day 1, and page 15 says day 2. Do you see that?
Wow.
Here, on this side, on this margin. In the Hebrew part, you will see also on the side, it says Yom Aleph, and on the page 15, it says Yom Bet. Can you see? Day 2, day 1. Yom, yes, I see it. Everybody see it?
I don't see.
Day 2. Okay, and day 7, day 1. Okay, so consecutively, the 150 Psalms, if you go like that, there's 30 days. So what does that do? That does that if every day I read, for instance, today is, if we have the Hebrew calendar, today is the 4th day of the month, right? So today, the Tehillim for today would be starting on page 29, the 4th day, and it will conclude on page 35. Are we together? Today is the day 4th of the month. So I would read from the Psalm 23 to the Psalm 28. Yeah? Are we together? Yeah. So that would mean that in one month, in 12 months, in 1 year, I would complete the whole Tehillim. Okay? Are we together? In 1 year, sure. No, I mean in one month, I would complete the whole Tehillim. In 1 year, I would complete 12 times the Tehillim. Are we together? Okay. Yes? Okay. Another way that the Tehillim are divided. So another way is, let's go back to page 7. It says, on top of the number 1, it says Sunday, right? So these 150 chapters, capitals, are also divided into the 7 days of the week. Okay? So Sunday starts in capital 1, and then, corresponds to Sunday, and then Monday will start Sunday. Okay, look at page 35. Page 35 in the bottom before the number 30. Okay, it says Monday. So that would mean that if I want to read from, each day of the week, I would read that part of the Tehillim, those chapters. I could complete the whole Tehillim in 1 week. So I would say it 53 times a year. Are we together?
Was that 35 or 30? 30 is Monday.
35?
30 is
30, yeah, but look at page 35. It says Monday. Okay. Yeah, page 30.
Page 30.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, it's Psalm 30.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Are we together? Okay. One more. Ready? So one more way of looking at the Tehillim is, okay, let's go to page 249, because this particular Tehillim has also explanations. 249. Okay. So 249, are we all there? So let's read what it says. I received a tradition from my teacher, the Maggid of Mesrich. The Maggid of Mesrich was a disciple of the Baal Shem Tov, that he received from his teacher, the Baal Shem Tov, in the name of his famed mentor, that from the 2nd day of Rosh Chodesh Elul, we are in the last month of the year. That's why we heard the shofar. We're preparing ourselves for Rosh Hashanah. What is Rosh Hashanah? Just so we see. Rosh Hashanah is when everybody's book is opened before heaven, and really our whole life depends on Rosh Hashanah, because it says who's going to live, who's not going to live, who's going to have a good year, who's not going to have a good year. Everything, it depends on Rosh Hashanah. Okay? So because it's called Yom Hadin, the day of judgment, we prepare ourselves for that day. Now, how does a person prepare to go before a judge? You try to get as much merit as you can. So one way of getting ready for this day of judgment, it says like this, that from the 2nd day of Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of the month of Elul, through Yom Kippur, 3 chapters of Tehillim are to be recited during the course of each day. So here it's saying that in Elul, we add, from Rosh Chodesh Elul, we add 3 chapters more every day, and they're going to culminate on Yom Kippur. Okay, so, and on Yom Kippur itself, to recite 36 chapters, 9 before Kol Nidrei, 9 before retiring, 9 before Musaf, 9 after Ne'ilah. Whoever starts this program after the 1st of Elul should begin with the chapters of that day and complete the missed chapters. So what happens if I didn't? Rosh Chodesh Elul was last Shabbat. So it says, okay, so let's do, today is the 4th day. So today would be chapter, if every day is 3 chapters, right? The 4th of Elul would be chapter 10, 11, and 12. The 3rd of Elul would be 7, 8, and 9, right? The 2nd of Elul would be 4, 5, and 6. And the 1st of Elul would be 1, 2, and 3. So today would correspond to 10, 11, and 12 Psalms. And then I could go back and do the ones that I have missed, okay? If I want to catch up. Now, what is the power of this? Yeah, I'm going to show you, there's a chart. There's a chart that explains it. Okay. 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 All right. So I'm going to show you the chart, and then we're going to start with explaining what is a Tehillim. Here on page 224. Okay, one more explanation. 224, order of the 3 chapters recited during the month of Elul. And here they tell us the day, that's a Jewish calendar. For the day of the 1st day of Elul is chapter 1 through 3. The 2nd is 4 through 6. The 3rd is 2 to 9. And then in the bottom, it says when we go into Tishrei, Rosh Hashanah, the chapters corresponding, and then Yom Kippur. In the bottom, it says before Kol Nidrei, before bedtime, after Musaf, and after Ne'ilah, and thus 2 to 4. And thus we say during the month of Elul, culminating with Yom Kippur, one more time the whole Tehillim. Okay? Now, okay.
Rosh Chodesh is the old day.
Well, so there's another, also, there's another custom, Rosh Chodesh, not Rosh Chodesh, in Shabbat Mevarchim, the Shabbat before Rosh Chodesh. But it's also good, you can join a community and you can say part of it, and together you can say the whole Tehillim. Okay, so let's go. I want to show you 252. Let's go to 252. And there's a beautiful explanation here. 252. In the middle of the page, it says a wine cup of blessing. A wine cup of blessing should be elevated. What is it talking about? It's talking about a Kiddush cup. Why do we do Kiddush? And for that reason, you know, in that theme, why mitzvot? So the Arizal says, the great Kabbalist, it's a Luria. He says, Hashem took spirituality and made a world of physicality, so that the Jewish people, we would take physicality, and through the mitzvot, we will transcend and make them spiritual, right? If I take tzedakah, money, very, very tangible, you know, something that is physical, and I give it in tzedakah, I transcend it. It transcended materiality and it became spiritual. So when we take Kiddush, what are we saying? When do we do Kiddush? Kiddush we do when it's Shabbat or Yom Tov, right? Why do we do Kiddush? I ate this morning. I didn't do Kiddush. Why do we do Kiddush? Kiddush, Kadesh. Kadesh is holy. Kedusha, holiness, has a connotation of separate, right? Why do we dress differently on Shabbat? We eat differently on Shabbat. We sing different prayers on Shabbat, because we're saying it's a separate day. Shabbat is a different day, right? We take our You know, you have your everyday cups of glass and you put them in the dishwasher. But when you take your beautiful crystal goblets, what happens if you put them in the dishwasher? They're going to break because they're special. So you wash them by hand and you put them gently, right? Kedusha is that. Kedusha is something that is separate. So we do Kiddush on Shabbat and Yom Tov because we're saying this is not an everyday day. This is a special day. That's the reason, right? To remind us this is something special, right? So why do we do Kiddush at all? Because we're saying, Hashem, you provide everything, right? Blessing comes from Hashem, right? When I take this wine that you said we should do, because it's a mitzvah, you told me to do it, and I am fulfilling it, through this wine, bless me. Baruch atah. Baruch atah is bless me. Through this physical wine, bring blessing. That's what we're saying, right? Okay? All right. So what does it say here? A wine cup of blessing should be elevated a hand's breadth. So when you say Kiddush, you should elevate it a hand's breadth. Are we together? Okay. Above the table. And King David's cup of blessing, namely the book of Tehillim, elevates a person a hand's breadth. So this was written by King David. It says that when Mashiach comes, there will be a big meal, a big seuda. Who's going to lead the blessing? Who's going to lead Birkat Hamazon? Who? King David. So King David is going to elevate the cup of blessing. And what did we say? This was the Tehillim? This was written by King David. So by saying Tehillim, we are elevating ourselves to receive blessing, just like the cup of blessing. Elevates a person a hand's breadth, quashing all accusations. So it's not only down here that we receive blessing, but Rashi says we're being judged every moment from above. So there are decrees. And how does severity turn into mercy? If there is a judge, we're talking about Rosh Hashanah Yom Hadin. It's the day of judgment. And we want the judge to have mercy on us, right? How do we manage to change the hat from severity to mercy, right? So we're saying by this Tehillim, it has the power. You know, when I remember one of my children, when he was little, something he had done, I don't remember what he had done, but I was like furious. I was furious, right? And then he goes away running, he comes back. I don't know how. He had bought me this little tiny little pearl necklace. I don't know how he got it. I don't know, maybe in the machine. I don't know. And I was like furious at this little boy. And then he brings me this mommy here, and it was like everything all of a sudden, all the fury melted away, melted away. You know, it's like no more judgment. It was like this has that magic. It has the power, right? So arrange for the entire Tehillim to be recited. Okay. Okay. Go to the next paragraph. The Tzemach Tzedek, the second Rebbe of Lubavitch, concluded his account to his sons. If you only knew its power and effects in the loftiest of heights, you would spend every possible moment saying Tehillim. Know that the Tehillim shatter all barriers and rise ever higher without interference, prostrating themselves before the master of all and bringing about kindness and mercy. In the same page, 252. Okay. All right. Next time we'll go inside. All right, thanks. We ran out of time. Okay. So let's sign.
Not all it has to be this one because I have to repeat that it's not about.
No, what happens is all the Tehillim are the same. Okay. But this one